workman, they say, is worthy of his wages, as the ancient word says. But it would appear that some of the governors of Nigeria's 36 states do not agree with this saying, because how else can one rationalize the recurrent delay in the implementation of the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2019? As of March 2021, some states have failed to honor agreement for the increment of wages reached some 16 months ago. It should be noted that the agreement itself did not come easy. It was reached after extensive bickering, threats to go on strike, and months of negotiations between labor and state and the federal government. While Nigeria is blessed with rich human and natural resources, it has, however, been unlucky to be led by inept public office holders who can harness the natural resources that abound in their domains for the well-being of their citizens and the overall development of their states. After waiting for months for their states to implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage, the national federal lawmakers recently proposed to move the minimum wage law from the executive to the concurrent legislative list, at a period when things are already tough for most workers in the country. The move drew the ire of labor, who took to the streets days back to protest the proposal. Judging by the recent move to alter the Minimum Wage Act, it seems some of the state governors had no intention of fulfilling their obligations after agreeing, an attitude that leaves a poor reflection and further depicts these state executives as insensitive to the plight of the poor masses. In the last 1 year, Nigerians have had to deal with the increase in electricity tariffs and the absence of prepaid meters. Many have had to pay as much as 20,000 naira a month while supplementing with power generators they have to fuel. The cost of housing, transportation, and particularly food commodities have equally been on a steady rise. In spite of this, Nigerians have had to deal with the harsh economic effect of the lockdown that was occasioned by the coronavirus pandemic. A 30,000 naira minimum wage, which is less than $100, is far from being luxurious pay, as it is barely sufficient to cater to the needs of an average Nigerian home, considering the prevailing economic conditions. Nigerians are tired of the readily churned out excuse of the inequality of federal allocations, or how the fortunes of the state haven't fared well with the global drop in crude oil prices. While this may be true, the fortunes of the average Nigerian hasn't fared any better too. If one thing is certain, it is that the living conditions of workers have deteriorated. While the governors are quick to cite paucity of funds for their inability to pay the wages of workers, it should be noted that the fortunes of most of these states are made worse with the high cost of governance, like the purchase of expensive vehicles for top state officials, the appointment of numerous political aides, exorbitant allowances paid to former state executives as pensions, investment in white elephant projects, and the mismanagement of security votes, which often run into millions of naira, among others. In spite of persistent complaints and condemnation of these practices by Nigerians, political office holders continue to appropriate huge monetary sums for their upkeep, while the average civil service employee is expected to patiently wait on the improvement of the state finances before their basic wages could be met. Total dependence by many states on federal allocations has never been and will never be a way out. The nation should strive for fiscal federalism and grant states the power to harness resources in their domains and pay royalties to the center. That way, states can begin to pay individual minimum wage reflective of their economic status. The primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the people, and a government that is unable to pay the minimum wage of its workforce has failed in its responsibility and undeserving of the support of the people. Moving the Minimum Wage Act from the executive to the concurrent list may just be courting more trouble from labor. What's your take? Have your say. Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section below.